Hey, what's up everybody? This is VisitJoan, and today I'm going to be attempting the 10-minute dump challenge. Now, normally I don't do a lot of challenges because a lot of them just don't sound like fun, like the 100 baby challenge. Why would I want 100 babies running around my house? No, that does not sound like fun to make your sim have 100 babies. I don't want to do that. But I came across this challenge and it actually sounded like something that is not only doable, but actually would be quite enjoyable. So what this challenge is I have 10 minutes to dump as many things as I possibly can from buy mode onto the lot, as you see here. As you can see here, I've already got it ready to go. I got the wall set up so I don't have to waste time with that. And I am building in Strangerville because, well, I don't usually build there. In fact, I've never built there except for the little trailer home I built myself, and that was on my other computer that broke. Yeah, well, I did do a wedding venue here, but I thought about doing the wedding video on camera, but then I realized that would be 30 minutes of me complaining about weddings, my so-called friends, and how much etiquette sucks, and nobody wants to listen to that. So I decided against it. Like I said before, I have 10 minutes to dump, and after I'm done with that, I can only use those objects. Now, there are a couple of things I can do. Number one, I can duplicate anything or switch the color of anything, but I can't switch it for another object of the same type. This challenge was created by Simmer Erin. I know I've been taking a lot of ideas from her lately, but she actually wanted me to steal this one, so. And without further ado, I need you to set a timer for 10 minutes.
Okay, 10 minutes and counting.
Whoa, 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 don't start. I need you to set a timer for 10 minutes.
Your timer is set for 10 minutes.
Okay, time's up. Okay, let's see what I've got. I've got a bed, a cabinet, a couch, a chair. Quite a few things. We can definitely work with this. So going into the build portion of this video, I kind of want to point out that this voiceover is probably going to be a lot more of me explaining my thought process throughout the build than usual. Just because, you know, this is a challenge and I have to think about what I'm doing. I can't just randomly, you know, put stuff where I like them. No, I actually have to think and use what I have available because I am constrained to what I was able to dump in those 10 minutes. You know, most of the time I don't do that because there isn't really a whole lot I have to say about the build in general. In fact, a lot of the times when I'm building, I'm not even thinking about the build. I'm just looking at, you know, the objects. I'm like, oh yeah, this looks good, this looks good, this looks good. You know, I had Simmer Erin the other day, actually it was yesterday the day I'm recording this, but you know, she was talking about how she liked like the wood tones in the kitchen. I'm like, I didn't even think of any of that when I was building. I'm just thinking, okay, this looks good, and probably thinking about some other things too, because my mind has a tendency to wander while I'm doing other things, and so I don't necessarily have a thought process while I'm building, but for this build, I probably will, and I say probably because I actually haven't finished building the house yet. I've got the structure built, I've got, I think, the landscaping done, but my mom went out to the store, and I've got, you know, I got a lot of stuff going on today. It's the final Splatfest for Splatoon 2, go Team Chaos, because let's be honest, Order is way overrated, but anyway, It's a little bit bittersweet that it's the final one, but I kind of want to be able to enjoy it. So I got that going on, and just a lot of other things that I'm doing. And And so when I get an opportunity to record a voiceover, I'm going to record a voiceover. So it's not going to be the whole voiceover because I haven't finished the house yet. But my mom did go out to the store and I'm like, okay, I've got an opportunity now. I'm going to take it. So I actually did create a family and move them into the slot. And I actually was playing around with the storytelling thing from Creative Sim. But anyway, that's a different story. So what I did is I took all the objects that I had dumped within those 10 minutes and I put them all in the family inventory. And that way I didn't have a bunch of objects lying around and taking up a lot of space. And I could just focus on actually building the house. And I have all the objects in one place. And I don't have to worry about, okay, did I drop this in the build? Did I drop that in the build? No, it's the objects in the inventory. And that's all I can use. But I also did make the executive decision that I wasn't going to count ceiling lights. And that is because when I was dumping, I tried to put, one of those saucer lights down. It's like, you can't. There's no room. And I'm like, okay, I really don't want to waste any part of this 10 minutes making a room so I could put ceiling lights in there. So I did put some other lights in there, but, I didn't put end tables. I completely forgot about that. But I decided, I have to be able to see what I'm doing when I'm putting furniture in this house. My Sims have to be able to see where they're going when they're in this house. And honestly, it's really just impractical not to have ceiling lights. So I'm like, okay, you know what? Ceiling lights don't count. I'm going to put them in there so that everybody can see. And it just makes everything that much easier. But other than that, it's strictly going to stick to the objects that I used in the dump. And also, another thing about this challenge that, like I said before, or at least I think I said before, I don't remember what I said yesterday, but the landscaping doesn't count and buildable objects don't count. So I did put a little floaty in the pool there, but I figured, it was available in build mode. It does not count. So my thought process when I was just dumping objects was I was trying to get as many, necessities as I possibly could. Like I had to get a toilet, I had to get a shower, I had to get a stove, I had to get a fridge, I had to get all this other stuff. I did forget a few things, like I did forget a coffee table, so I decided to put the TV on the, it doesn't matter, but I was trying to make sure that I got a little bit of everything and so that the house could actually be usable. Now, I probably will go back later and actually fill in all the gaps and all the furnishings and stuff like that, but for the purpose of this video, it is only going to be using what I dumped. That will be the final product for this video. If I use the house in the future, I will add more stuff to it, but for the purposes of this challenge, it's just going to be the objects that I dumped. And I also really only dumped one of each thing, because, the rules were I could copy stuff. So I'm like, I only really need one chair, one sofa, one desk, one computer, one this, one that, and that just saved so much time that I was able to dump more stuff. And once I had all this stuff I felt like I needed, I went into decorations and put some wall decorations down on the wall and then put some just clutter items just on the floor there so that I'd have them to be able to use. And I also got, different counters because, well, in my house, the kitchen counters are different from the bathroom counters, and I decided, it probably would be a thing that they were different counters, and I made sure I got a cabinet, and I made sure I got some kitchen stuff, and I don't even remember what happened now. As for the house itself, I really didn't go into it with a plan in mind. Actually, I've seen a lot of people just start with just building the entranceway with the room tool and then just kind of going from there. And that's what I did. I kind of just improvised a little bit and said, okay, here's a square. This looks good. This looks good for the outside the house. So I just made the whole outside the house out of the different rooms and different bump outs and stuff like that. And I just deleted the inside walls and said, okay, from this point on, I'm going to make the floor plan. As for the roofing, well, roofing's a pain in the butt, but I managed to make it work somehow. I don't know. But there's this one part that I kind of wanted it to be a balcony, and I forgot that I wanted it to be a balcony, and I put a little, whatchamacallit, those one-sided, modern-looking flat roofs, half-hipped roof. No, it's not a half-hipped roof. It's something. You know those roofs that they put on modern houses that it's one half of a gabled roof? That kind of roof. But I put that there, and I'm like, wait a minute, I wanted that to be a balcony. You know what? The guest room or the kids' room or whatever it ends up being, they don't need a balcony, okay? It looked fine the way it was. And also when I was doing the floor plan, it was really kind of funny, because I had a few spaces, just extra spaces, so I was closing them off to put in closets. And then I realized, wait a minute, I didn't dump any closets. I can't use closets! So I had to get rid of those, and I'll figure out what I'm going to do with those eventually. But anyway, I got this fan blowing on me right now, and that's because it is going to be extremely hot outside today. There are excessive heat warnings. And of course, I dressed for the heat, not for the air conditioning and the fan blowing right on me, which is really annoying because now I'm cold and uncomfortable. But, I mean, I could turn it off, but I'm not going to be here that long, and my mom's just going to go and turn it on again. And she actually found this, like, vintage fan in, like, the garage to put downstairs. I'm like, I don't even know why you need to put a fan downstairs. It's already freezing down there. But anyway, I don't know, you guys. I washed my hair. I'm probably going to step outside and just let it dry in like 5 minutes or whatever. But, you know, back to the challenge. I did paint the walls of the rooms, although I'm not really sure if that's going to match with the color swatches of the items I chose. It may not. I don't know. I'm probably going to go back and redo it if it doesn't. But anyway, you know, I just realized something, and it's really kind of surprising that I did do this challenge, because if there's one thing that makes me hate a certain minigame, it's being on a time limit. Oh my god, I hate being on a time limit. You know, the 10-minute timer, it wasn't that bad, but I was constantly thinking, like, oh my goodness, is it gonna, like, scare the heck out of me when the timer's up? But my phone ended up being really quiet about it, so it wasn't that bad. But, you know, I just hate having things on a time limit. Like, time tests in elementary school, like, oh my goodness. Well, first of all, I am terrible at memorizing basic math facts, like, honestly. Like, I can remember the names and types of over 800 Pokemon, but I can't remember what 6 times 7 is. It's 42, I think. Anyway, regardless of whatever it is, I could just do those times tests, and I would always be afraid that I'd be, like, in the middle of, like, writing a number when time was called. And so, I don't know, I just hate things being on a time limit because I feel rushed and it's like I can't do a good job. I don't know, especially if it's like, I don't even know, like, there's, like, racing games that are on a time limit. I mean, Ridge Racer 64 was okay because usually I know I can make the time limit. But there's just, like, one level where it's just, like, I'm almost there and time is running out. And it's just like, oh my goodness. So that was kind of the annoying thing about this challenge. But other than that, it really was okay. And guess what happened right after I finished recording that? Yeah, my mom came home. So perfect timing. But anyway, enough of that tangent. So what I did after I had the house built was I took all the objects from the inventory and put them in their respective rooms. And then I did the bathrooms first because that's what I always do. So I went and started cloning some objects like the toilet and the the toilet paper and the towel and the mirror, and I put them in the other 2 bathrooms. Now I did have some issues with the master bathroom because, well, I was trying to figure out a way to get everything to work and it just wouldn't work, but eventually I figured it out. I don't remember exactly what happened. But anyway, there were some issues. I mean, I had bar stool chairs, but no island counters. So I decided to switch the counters I had from the bathroom, the modern ones that come with the base game, with the island living ones that don't have an island counter version to begin with. I heard that we were going to get that in an update, but I heard that through the grapevine, so who the heck actually knows? But I put those in the kitchen, and so I just put the bar stools there for show. I also didn't dump any coffee tables or end tables or things like that, so I had to copy the, the dining room table, use a different swatch, and then put the TV on it. But that actually worked out pretty well, so I'm happy about that. The kitchen really wasn't that big of a problem because I made sure to get a lot of kitchen clutter and a lot of kitchen stuff and all the appliances I would need. So kitchen wasn't that big of a problem. The dining room looked kind of empty, to be honest, and I, wanted to put more stuff on the walls. So I took those string lights from the free holiday stuff that we got, and I put them, like, under the little island living shelf there. And it still looks a little bare, but I only put down wall decorations for bedrooms, so, well, I'm out of luck. The living room turned out pretty good. I actually kind of like it. I had enough stuff for that. So the downstairs, I really didn't have any problems. It was the upstairs that was like, oh my goodness. And the master bedroom was fine. But when I got to the kids' rooms, the one actually turned out pretty good for the older kid, or maybe it's an older girl, or I don't know. I furnished them for girls, but they could really be for anybody. I tried to get, like, a gender-neutral thing going on. For some reason, I ended up with peach and pinks, and I have no idea what the heck happened there. But, I was able to, decorate the walls pretty well, because I got all that wall decor stuff, but the room for the toddler was just really a stretch, because there just wasn't much there by the time I got to that. Like, everything else had been used already, and I couldn't really... I had a couple of toys, but, I usually put desks in all the kids' rooms, but toddlers don't really need desks. They can sit in chairs, but they can't really sit at desks. So, I didn't need to give her that. I mean, I might have just given her one anyway for when she was older, but... And I was able to find a place for the treadmill in the upstairs hallway and the hot tub, in the backyard. So that all went pretty smoothly. Anyway, this should be just like a rather simple video to edit because other than basically like building, all I have to do is just put the footage in, speed it up, and then I'm done because, half of these speed builds that I recorded are basically me going through the catalog, trying things out, and seeing, okay, what looks good. And I didn't have to do any of that this time, so a lot of work has been already done for me on that part, so I'm happy about that. But anyway, I'm trying to think of anything else I can talk about because, I have absolutely no idea how long this video is going to be. I have no idea how long this voiceover is, thanks to the stuff I'm using to record. And, I realized that this summer has been, pretty busy with content creation and all that stuff because, first came Island Living, and now I'm getting ready for something big, so it is crunch time for me. I've got to get all my ducks in a row, and I don't really have a moment to spare. And, I'm trying to work on managing my time and being sure I can get everything done that I need to get done. And that's pretty much a process in and of its own right. And anyway, you guys, I'm going to let you go here. If you enjoyed this challenge, please leave a like and consider subscribing. And I'll be seeing you in the next video. Bye, guys.